Well, welcome everyone to Channeling with Divine Intelligence and your amazing, miraculous walk with God. It is just so beautiful to hear all the miracles that are happening with you and with all of us in our spiritual family, which we just love that. Morning, Joey. How are you, buddy? Looking good. And so, what I'd like to do first is let's invite everybody in. And so, if you want to, you can close your eyes. It's easier to go within that way. And let's just breathe deeply. And so, breathe in deeply. And just relax and breathe out. Breathe anything unwanted. Let the day go. Let what's happening go. Breathe in. And breathe in God and all that is. Breathe out. And let not only today go, but let tomorrow go. And now, as we breathe in, let us breathe in this all powerful present moment. Oh, and we just love this present moment as we now invite that which has created everything for us. And we invite our inner being in. We invite our seven archangels into the room now. Just invite them, feel everyone's presence. We invite all that is in. And that includes all of those that have walked before us, our ancestors, all our angels, and all the loving energies of and wanted energies of the universe now flow into our experience, into our thoughts, into our feelings, and every cell of our body. And we welcome you all in, and let's rock and roll. So you can open up your eyes and welcome this beautiful moment in. And so it is actually, so we've been, really embracing and understanding that it is God, all that is, our inner being, our archangels, which we'll talk about next week, our archangels, and which will be a rocking time. And you're going to really start developing a intimate relationship with your seven archangels. And as you focus on them, they're going to give you these energies that you have actually always wanted that will help deliver to you all of your dreams. And so it's in your asking, and then the Father does the work. And that's the Father. All of these loving energies, and the whole universe is made out of energy. And so it's all made out of God, if you will, and God's loving energy. And that we have each been blessed with the opportunity to be able to mold that energy, literally the energy that creates worlds, and we have the power to mold that energy with our thoughts into our experience. And you're starting to realize that, and you're starting to see miracles. We're in our fourth session together now, and you're starting to see some miracles happen. And so, to start out, could we hear? Does anybody have any miracles you want to share with us? Yes, Deborah, you got to take unmute.
Deborah was smiling way too big to not share.
That's for sure.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm even sharing this right now.
Cool.
But I wouldn't be if it wasn't for this amazing family here and this, group and for this journey. I would not be sharing it because of fear and because of other things, but
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I believe in I'm operating on faith, and now I know and believe and have surrendered to it all. And so yeah, I am pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mazaltov, as we said.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deborah, I remember I asked you 3 weeks ago about it.
Yeah.
I asked you, are you pregnant? And you told me not something.
Oh my God, you did.
I did. I don't know,
Oh,
I had the feeling there's a baby's coming. Then I asked, are you pregnant? And you told me, I don't know if you know something.
I did. I just found out yesterday. Like
That's
literally, I had a
great.
feeling because I just,
Yeah.
felt it happening. And then, and it's just funny because I was asking in my joy shop for, for a sign that my grandfather is around. Because I remember Dr. Hank was like, well, maybe a book will fall, or you'll see something like that, like a book that he used to read, or you'll
Yeah.
see something. But he gave me something else. And, it's him showing me, I believe, that he is still here and always has been, as well. And it's just, increased my faith. I mean, it's such a miracle. Like, I can't even believe what I'm still in shock in a good way. And I know the angels are, all around and guiding me, and I can just feel it in every cell of my body. And I'm just
Wow.
grateful for this program, because it wouldn't have, I don't know what would have happened, but I would not be sharing any of this, because old me, when I was pregnant with my, 2 years ago with Mira, I didn't want to tell anybody because I was so full of fear that I've had miscarriage before. So in my mind, I was like, oh, this is too good, and I always would, be so scared. And it really drove me to have an unhealthy pregnancy with preeclampsia, that I was in the hospital for a lot of it at the end. But I know this one's not going to be like that, because I am I'm walking with Source, I'm walking with God in this. And I just feel like I'm just excited for this experience. I know it's going to be so beautiful and so different, and I'm just going to enjoy every single second. And I'm just so grateful for this group, and that, no matter what you've been on in your journey in your life, there's so many, you can transform your life. And I'm just grateful. So
That's just fantastic.
So awesome.
Congratulations, Deborah. Yeah. And I want to share something on that. Exactly, our fears that there's all the energies, and either wanted or unwanted. And one of the things with, like, for example, the miscarriage, that we think this is bad, and we think that, this is awful, and we forget that there's a greater power that is playing, functioning behind us. And this greater power actually, see, with our little committee and our judgments, what we do is we say, oh, this is terrible that this child, wasn't even born, quote unquote, into this world. Well, what are we talking about? That is a soul that wanted to experience something, and in this case, to have conception, to be born, and then to enjoy that for the weeks or whatever it was. See, we have in our head, oh, you have to have 70 years in or whatever in order to qualify as a good life, and our souls make that decision. So there's never anything to be upset about, to be angry about, to be fearful about. And that we literally are creating it all ourselves. Our only responsibility, as far as specifically with children, is to conceive the child. Okay, that child now has its own soul and is being guided by all that is. And so you don't have any more responsibility. Okay, and people say, oh, but the poor little baby, when it does come home, and when, for example, 2 years ago, Mara came home, oh, our poor little baby. Poor little baby? Who's running the household? That poor little baby, all they have to do, they don't have to do anything, all they have to do is go like that, and they get their diaper changed, they get that, they get, they get it all, and so it's all fine. And so know that because they're magnets, see, they're attracting what they want there. And so because they're vibrational beings, and they're actually old souls, we all are, and that's a whole nother story, and you don't have to get into it or be concerned about it, because where the happening place is right now in this moment. And what I just loved about Deborah sharing is that she just knows, it's going to just be great. And the past experience is simply what we didn't want. Okay, it's just this energy that we didn't want. And now we realize what a blessing that the other child, so her first child, okay, is alive and well. Everything is fine. Mira is alive and well, and now this one is alive and well. And so all we need to do is send love and well-being to our children, to each other, and know that we're being taken care of. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, congratulations, Deborah. And like she said, she doesn't think she would have been pregnant without this, because again, they were, worried, and they've been wanting to have children, but they've been worried about this and, all of that stuff. And Deborah just gave all that up. And when she gave it up, you get everything. Don't be connected. Don't be attached to anything. Just give it up. And who are we giving it up to? We're giving it up to God.
So, Dr. Hank, can you talk a little bit about the process of giving it up? Because
Yeah.
even though it's really easy to think about it, it's very difficult to actually give it up. We still want to keep it.
Yeah. And so the first step is, if you say it's difficult, then you're right.
Right.
And so you have to give it up, and you start out by giving up thinking anything is hard, anything is difficult, anything. If you think it's impossible, then it is. But with God, all things are possible. And so that's step one, is to know that what I'm going to do. So look at it this way, Ross, and for all of us, that when we are attached to, I gotta have that deal, or I gotta have this relationship, or, I have to do, whenever you're tightening this up, that you actually are pushing it away. And the reason why is, you don't have faith. You don't have belief in God, in your inner being, in your higher power, in your archangels, in this loving energy, in, all of these are working. They're the engine. They make everything happen. In fact, they give you, and they being God and all those components, if you will, because it's all God, but for us to be able to use our minds, to be able to allow that in, to ask for, and today is about asking. And so they even give us inspiration to act. So now dissect that word inspiration. It's inspired, okay? And who's inspiring? Remember, the energies that we communicate with God through our feelings. Our bad feelings mean we're not thinking about this as God is. Our good feelings mean we are. And so when we have a good feeling, and that we are then inspired about this thought we've been given from God, because where do these thoughts come from? See, we think, I had the thought on it. Well, no, the thoughts are coming because we're asking, and we're asking for these divine thoughts, and the thoughts come. And so when we have a divine thought of inspired action, and that's the only action you ever do, is inspired action. So how to let it go is to talk yourself into, I'm not going to hang on to this. I'm not going to attach to this. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let God, if you will. And that I know that what I need to do, it's all in my asking. And so with that, we're going to dissect thought and to help us to understand that there's actually 4 areas of thought. And by the way, you're going to love all this, and it is going to awaken and enlighten you more and more. And more miracles are going to be happening to you. And we have other miracles, but let's, for right now, let's get into this. And it actually is, let's see this, I sent a handout to you. And if you want to look at that, it might be a little bit easier to follow as I share with you this, but you don't need it. That basically there are 4 areas in which we think in. And 3 of the areas are unwanted areas, what I call red zones. And nobody teaches this. This has all come from divine intelligence, okay? You'll never see this anywhere else in this way ever. And again, because it's divine intelligence giving me this to be able to share with the world. So there's 2 types of thought. It is wanted thought, and it is unwanted thought. Okay, so it's kind of good, bad, the way most of us are used to thinking about, this is good, bad, but really everything is just wanted and unwanted. And then in our thought, we have either non-deliberate thought, so we're just kind of thinking, we're reacting, whatever. And then we also have deliberate thought. And it's a deliberate thought about what we want or what we don't want. So I'm going to share with you these 4 areas. And the first one is, I'm deliberately thinking, this is a red zone. This is where you don't want to be, where most of us are, by the way, during the day. And this is where I am thinking about what I want, but I'm not doing it deliberately. And what that is that's in the day, you are talking to a prospect, okay, and they all of a sudden say no or hang up the phone or whatever. And then we're thinking about what we want. Oh man, I really don't want that. I can't believe that happened. And so we're thinking, and what we're doing is we're just responding to what is, to what's happening. And we think that that is reality on what is happening. And the fact is that it's not reality at all, because we have talked about what reality is, and reality is all starts with our thought. And then that thought creates energy, and then that energy creates matter. Our thoughts become things.
Right.
And this is this is proven by science. And so we have all of science that has proven that our thoughts. So what we're experiencing right now is only a combination of our thoughts that turned into our emotions, that then turned into our experience. However, we've been told, face reality. So this is face reality, where I'm deliberately thinking about, oh, I don't want it this way. Okay. And actually, when you're saying, I don't want it this way, you're actually saying what you don't want. You're attracting what you don't want. Okay. But you think you're thinking about what you want, because you say, hey, I don't want that prospect to say no. I don't want this argument. I don't want this hurt me. I don't want to have whatever's going on in your life that you don't want. And so what you want to do, and this is really an answer to help you also, Ross, with your question, is that what we don't want to do is be attached to what's going on in front of us. It's not reality. And so, one of the quotes I'm famous for is that, and, known for whatever, that it's, I don't face reality. Because some people say, Dr. Hank, why don't you just get real and face reality? And I say, there's no way I'm going to face reality. I'm going to create it. And how am I going to create it? I'm going to create it with my thoughts, with my asking, and then I'm going to allow the Father to do the work. I'm not going to do the work. It's all going to be easy. And when you understand that every moment is a blessing, it will also help, in answer to Ross's question, it will also help you to release it when you realize this is a blessing. It's nothing to be bad, that this didn't happen yet. My current example, personal example, is I had some cryptocurrency, and it's kind of fun money that I do, and there was $18,000 in it that I took from a what do they call it, a safe or whatever, all in the technology world, and I transferred it into Coinbase, and so it was $18,000 being transferred in. It was called Ethereum, the crypto, and this was a week ago now. Okay, and I wanted it out because we have another trip we're planning, and so I was going to take it out. And I made a lot of money on it. I put in, I don't know, $300 or something. It's now worth $18,000. So it's all fun and it's play money, whatever. And so I transferred into Coinbase, and for the first time ever with Coinbase, that the transfer, they weren't able to fully transfer it over. So it looks like I have no money right now. Now, most people would just freak out over this. Oh, this is all awful. And I go, okay, where's the blessing? What do I want? And so I asked, show me the blessing. So again, I supposedly have lost $18,000. I haven't lost $18,000. That there's a blessing. I don't know what it was. Well, like yesterday, Ethereum increased by 9.7%. So I just made a couple more grand. And I would have sold it last week and not made that money. So I still don't have that money per se, in my pocket. It still didn't transfer over, and they're working on it, whatever. And I'm going like, hey, whenever you want to release it, God, and you know best, okay, you release it. And so today I check, it's not there. I go, this is awesome. I must be making more money. And the complete opposite of what most people would do when they, have something that supposedly doesn't go their way. And that's why today we want to just give up this comparing, this analyzing, giving up our analytical mind, and instead start living, thinking in the green zone, which we're going to get to. So the first zone we talked about is, again, being deliberate of what you want, but just reacting to life. So you're not pre-paving this, that you're just responding to life, and you're basically looking at, it's not going the way my little committee, my lower self does. And so hearing that, what did you like best about that? Yes, do it.
Okay. From my own experience, like past 3 years, it was hard and harsh on me. Everybody say, oh, just connect to God. No, pray for God. But nobody teach me how to connect to God, how to live it. Nobody say, oh, leave it for God, God will solve it. But nobody told me how to do it.
Yeah.
So until I met you, right now, I have a peace inside. I connect more to nature. I like to wake up early, look at the sunrise, how the sky colors. I went back to my old habits, like planting flower, vegetables. During the sunset, I like to sit and watch it as well. So you will feel like you have a peace inside out. This is how we connect to God. Just connect to nature. You will see the miracles outside. Then you will be, it's easy to leave it then. And so right now I'm really walking with God. Sometimes I get mad in the kids for a minute, 2 minutes, but never lost.
Yeah.
But I don't feel anything. They are little cats. I didn't feel it inside.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Adu has shared with me this movie. It's called Brain on Fire. And it's about this lady who's like 21 years old, and she's just fine. It's on Netflix. And she suggested that I watch it. And so I did. And this lady is real healthy and everything's going great. She's got a great job. And all of a sudden she starts kind of losing it, if you will. And they think she's schizophrenic. And she's now tied up, literally tied up in a hospital, and can't function at all. And so her outside appearance is that she just is she's non-functional. Okay, she just can't function. And there's a scene in there where a doctor comes to her and her parents are there. And again, she's just a vegetable sitting in bed and they're calling it schizophrenia. And the doctor comes and looks into her eyes and says, I know you're in there and I'm going to get you out of there now. And you're going to be able to shine your light again, okay? And this is exactly the miracle we saw with Dua on last week, where she was unable to communicate. Now she's talking all the time. Before we got on, she was talking, and it's just amazing. But and what she shared there was that that she now knows how to talk to God. And she's learned through this program to be able to talk with God and really connect and understand and to see the blessing in her harsh father, whatever. But more so is for her to show herself, like she shared with me, that she could communicate well within her, like within her mind, she was communicating well to the outside world. But when she would try to say the first word, she was unable to do it. Okay. Now you see her on where she is, and that's a miracle. So it's another miracle that we have pregnant Deborah, who the miracle happened, and now Dua, who she has released the beauty, the angel, the essence, the loving her that has been within her. And, and she was told it's hereditary and all this stuff, and just don't believe anybody other than God. And go to whatever you desire, ask for that, and you will get it. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
By the way, that's a true story. I saw that movie too.
Yes,
That's
it
a true
is.
story. And what you get from that is really not to believe what you see,
Yeah.
not to believe what you see.
Exactly. Yeah, they diagnosed her with schizophrenia, and he diagnosed her with another condition where he treated her, and she's leading a regular life. And now, because of all that, thousands of people are being cured, if you will, and are being able to, what's within them is now being able to be seen to the world. Just like Dua is being seen to the world, just like every one of you. You each now have this look in your eyes, look in the mirror. You'll see God shining through. People are seeing God. You just have to look at them. You're emitting out of you this pure source energy, this love out of you now, because you're walking with God and you're channeling with divine intelligence and you're being led. And so these changes, that it's just going to get better and better. And this is where each one of you have become now the light of the world. Oh.
Yes, I love the idea that just change what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And when you want to think negative, like I do sometimes, just change the thought.
There you go. Just change the thought. So back to our thinking.
Okay.
So the second area, so understand what you're thinking when you think, that first area now, to understand that when you're just reacting to life, you're not creating life. In fact, you're typically creating, it's kind of like what you're doing there, because you didn't prepave it, because you didn't think about, hey, I want God to lead the way. I want to lead with heart, because you weren't inviting God and all that is into your life every day. That what happens, and that's why this joy shop, as Deborah mentioned, the joy shop, you need to do that channeling with the joy shop, and to really get into that and your magical sentence and those thoughts about the divine intelligence, because the more you're exposed to that, the more that this won't happen. So look at the first one is that we're like in an airplane and we're parachutists, okay? And so we're in this airplane, and then this is how most people lead their life, okay? And what they do, they just jump out of the plane, and as they're going down, they realize, oh, darn, I forgot my parachute. Okay, I forgot my parachute. And when you just hang on because it'll be over soon. You jump out. There's some noise and mute us.
I'm in a meeting.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And there we go. And so if you guys, I just muted everybody because we got some background noise going. But unmute yourself at any time if you want to speak. And so it's like this area is that most people live their life, and most of us have lived our life this way, where it's like us jumping out of the airplane, and instead of forgetting the parachute, we forgot to bring God along. And so we used our little analytical mind in order to figure it out, try to do it. And, and then our ego that gets in the way. And, oh, how do I look? And, how's the video? And how do I sign? Nobody gives a hoot. They're all worried about their own damn hairdo and bad hair day or whatever. Okay. And so that's the first zone. Now, the second zone is where, again, I'm not being deliberate. Okay, and you're learning how to become deliberate and deliberately inviting all that is, because they're the engine that creates everything in your life. But this is being non-deliberate and thinking about what I don't want. And in this case, it's again another red zone, but it's kind of like, so what? It's just busy work, okay? That I'm going to go do my filing instead of calling the client, or I'm just going to not say anything when really I need to say, hey, I really love you, that, because that's really what this is all about is love. We are each the essence of love. We're just so covered up with our committee and these thoughts and, how do I look, or how do I say, or I'm mad at them, judging, other people, being mad at our enemies. Love your enemies, otherwise you become like them. Okay. And so this is kind of like busy work, and it's almost so what, and what happens is it decreases our success and increases our stress. And so when you become deliberate, you're just inspired by every moment. Okay. And where this is kind of, I just do busy work. And I know some of you are like, on the internet, surfing or shopping or whatever, on the internet. And that's simply where your mind is at the time. And you say, I don't want to be there anymore. I want to be doing, have more of what I want. I want my dreams to come true. And then the third and last red zone is where I'm being deliberate, but I'm thinking about what I don't want. And this is this committee in our head. Just imagine it's in our head, this beautiful mahogany table, these beautiful executive chairs, and we made this beautiful office with this committee. Okay, we gave them power, and there's fear, and there's worry, and complaining, and doubt, and shame, and guilt, and all of those emotions that and thoughts you've actually thought recently. Okay, in one way, one form or another, and last week when we invited Archangel Michael in to release our fears. And so the more that you just release all of it and just blowing it out, okay, that you'll see that you'll be able to start moving towards this green zone. But back to the red zone, so we have this committee, our smaller self, and it's the judge, the head of the table is this judge, and judging what's right, what's wrong, analyzing stuff, thinking. And really all we need to do is feel good, enjoy ourselves, and go out and enjoy this amazing, beautiful life. But our committee prevents us from doing that. So the only devil there is, I also call it the drunken monkey, okay, because it's really silly, the crap it tells you, that, oh, because this happened before, it's going to happen again. That's not true, but most of us think that's how it is, or I know people, they're like this or whatever. And just forget that. The past is not your friend, okay? The present moment is your friend with God to be able to create everything you want. And so this drunken monkey, that the only devil there is in the whole wide universe is this. And we get to choose if we're going to listen to it or not. And so right now, just choose. I'm not going to be listening to that little chattering voice anymore. And so hearing that, what did you like best so far out of that?
I love getting rid of the monkey.
The drunken monkey.
Yeah, I love that idea of just, kicking him out.
Yeah, just bye-bye. No energy, bye-bye. Just pretend a little drunken monkey. See you later. See you later, fear and worry. You see, most of those things that we've had, in fact, the insurance industry reviewed all that and analyzed, hey, why are people dying? And it's because of heart disease, the number one killer, during COVID, after COVID, before COVID, still number one. And they wanted to know, well, why are people getting heart disease? And it's stress, and the stress is caused from fear, our fear. So they analyzed fear, and they found that most of the things we fear never even happened to us. Okay? But it occupies this amazing mind of ours that when we go to our higher power and tap into that we can mold the energy of the created world into our life and have all of our dreams come true. And so you've heard the miracles that, this idea about that my true essence of who I am is that I want to have it shine now. I'm not going to hide behind this ego and my heart that has all these chains around it with locks. I'm unlocking every one of those damn locks, okay? I'm taking off those chains. I'm going to be wide open. There's nothing to be guarded about. We've been taught, we have beliefs, most of our beliefs are on our own, by the way. And, our religions came from whatever our families had, and so, and to be guarded, we were taught from a very early childhood you got to watch out for this, and so we're guarded. There's nothing to guard against. That when you're walking with God, there's nothing to fear, there's nothing to guard. And so, people say, well, I want to put up boundaries, okay, with people. Well, if you ask for a boundary, God has to give you something to be the boundary too. So something unwanted. So it's like you're asking for the unwanted. I don't need any boundaries. I don't need any of that. I'm wide open. I'm going to just share with my heart what my thoughts are. Like Deborah said before, she would have never shared this with anybody. And with all these, made up silly thoughts about, oh, I kill somebody. No, you tell somebody and we're all with you. We love that baby of yours now. We're all blessing that baby. We all went hallelujah on that baby. And so there's all this good love and support. And again, know that your responsibility basically is done other than to feel good. And that's true for all of us, to simply feel good. So those are the 3 red zones of thought. And which of those red zones do you think we're probably most in, or that you're most in? Yeah.
The third one?
The third one, the committees. Yeah, the committee. Because it's the one that's, so during the day, you have these circumstances, events, whatever that you're just reacting to, and then you get life by default. And once that momentum goes, by the way, when you're, what is, facing what is, once that momentum is going, that you pretty much can't stop the momentum. And so just kind of let it happen like the parachuter, just stay, fall to the bottom, it's okay. That, but most of our thought is, even when we're talking to people, where our committee's going and saying a bunch of stuff like, oh, gee, I, hope I said the right thing, or, oh, they didn't like me. I don't care what other people, I don't care if people like me. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them, their beliefs, and it's their issue. Like when they point a finger at you, 3 fingers are pointing back at them. It's the issue with them. And so have empathy for them. Okay. And Archangel Zachiel, that we'll learn next week, that will become compassionate to those people. So when they say, oh, you're whatever, oh, hey, has nothing to do with me. I'm not taking any of this personal anymore. This has to do with you. But I'm going to just walk with God, and I'm going to be happy. And I'm not going to allow anything to impact me that I don't want, that I don't like. So the good news is that we get an area to choose, and it's called the green zone. And so you can even say to yourself, it's a great cultural thing with your organizations or family or whatever, that, hey, I'm just living in the green zone. And this is where I'm thinking about what I want, and I'm doing it deliberately. And so what do I want? First thing I want is I want to feel good, okay? And I want to make sure I invite divine intelligence in to guide me, to support me. That all I need to do is be thinking about what I want and why I want it. And then the Father does the work. And then I allow it. So this is where you become a deliberate creator. This is where you call forth good feeling thoughts. I wrote a whole book on good feeling thoughts. It's literally every day, 7 good feeling thoughts. And it's changed people's lives because they get a little of the 60,000 thoughts a day. They finally get some inspirational thoughts that are way more powerful. See, each one of you, now that you're connected with God and all that is, are way more powerful than a million people that aren't. And that's why it doesn't matter what other people think. That it matters what your connection is with all that is in God. And so you are the inviter. And so what are you inviting? And isn't that a beautiful thought to realize that you are the inviter into everything? And you do that simply through your asking, if you will, which means simply through your thought. And that's why this joy shop is so powerful. I can't give it to the people that I first meet or whatever that are first introduced to this teaching because they don't understand. You guys embrace it, and your understanding and you know what that joy shop is, what that magical sentence is, and as you move forward, that now what happens when you live in this green zone, it increases your success and it decreases your stress. You live longer. You have a long, happy, healthy, and wealthy life now. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So, your thoughts. And just unmute yourself.
So Dr. Hank, I love this. And it's so true. I mean, we think about what we don't want.
Yeah.
And so that's so powerful to me. Now that I know this,
Yeah.
and I can work on it.
Exactly.
Practice it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, it's just really eye-opening for me.
That's
Because
beautiful.
I've always known thought is powerful, be positive. I've always known that. And
Yeah.
I've always tried to do that.
Yeah.
But now I know I shouldn't think about what I don't want.
Right. Right. It doesn't get you anywhere other than more of what you don't want.
Yeah. So
Literally.
like yesterday, you know, I was talking to a wonderful prospect. You know, she was thinking about joining us or not, but I thought it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
If it's all gonna work out.
It's all going to play
If
out.
she's supposed to be on my team, things will work out beautifully. If not, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
And that's all because of you, Dr. Hank.
It's all your fault.
So I love that because
Yeah.
it decreases stress.
Yeah.
Like before, I was like, oh, I hope they come on board. She's
Right.
gonna be so good.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's perfect. Everything's playing out just perfectly. See, when we transition back into the non-physical, what people call death, and death is just a misunderstanding, that there is no death, there's eternal life for all of us. And so when we realize that, even pets, by the way, and so, you know, animals and people, I had a lady, I'm marrying a lady in a couple of weeks. And she called me and she said, I don't know if I can even get married. And I said, what? She said, oh, my cat died. And it's just awful. It lived till 21 years old, you know, and oh, it's just awful. And we're getting married in a little chapel, and there's just going to be the three of us. Okay. And so the, you know, bride, groom, and me. And so she was just heartbroken. She said, I don't know if I could get married now. This has just ruined my whole life. And I said, but don't you understand that your cat just gave you a present? This is your wedding present. She goes, what are you talking about? And I said, well, see, because your cat's in, if you will, kitty heaven now, okay? Your cat has eternal life too. And the reason why your cat departed here and gave this to you and just transitioned back into non-physical is because, and it's no big deal to them or anybody other than you're making a big deal with your little committee. You don't need to do that anymore. And see, it gave us right now the opportunity to discuss on that your chapel is going to be filled. And she goes, what are you talking about? And I said, this helps you to realize that all that is here, that in the chapel is going to be all the 7 archangels blessing your marriage. In the chapel is going to be your kitty, and kitty heaven's going to be there. And she just started crying and laughing in joy. I said, you know, God's going to be there with you. Jesus, she's Christian. Jesus is going to be with you. That it's just magnificent. It's going to be just the most glorious. In fact, we have a packed house in the chapel. And she just cried. And I said, this is the present that your kitty transitioned now for you to realize this, for us to talk about this, that we got a full house for your marriage, girl. And she just was, hallelujah. Okay. And it's all about mindset. We turned one thing that was destroying her, okay, and turn that around to where she was flying high with her angels and God and all that is. And it's all about this mindset. When you dismiss the committee and say, you know, I'm just not going to be listening to you anymore. And so Robin, in your description there, it's so beautiful. And that's why it's easy now. See, now we realize, oh, we're just going to look at you as you're just a red zone. You know, you're just what I don't want. I'm not putting any energy into this. I'm not going to do any of that. That what I'm going to do is deliberately think about what I want. And keep it general. I want a long, happy, healthy life. Yeah. I want to feel good. I want to be at one with God. I want to breathe deeply. And that breath, oh, you guys have been doing those breath exercises, fun in the morning, you know, it's spirit. Okay. It's the fastest way to connect with all that is through your breath. So it's all easy. None of this is hard. Okay. It's all, gee, all I need to do is start breathing deeply. All I need to do is recognize and awaken, and every one of you are becoming awakened to, and every one of you, by the way, are channeling now in different forms, different ways that, you know, and it's just so much fun. Now I don't have to do the work anymore. The stress is off. That I don't have to do this stuff. I just need to ask for what I want and then expect to get it.
So,
Yes.
Dr. Hank,
Yes.
the other day I thought about the fact that I need another stream of income. Okay, so then I find an email in my inbox inviting me to, it wasn't for me, but this is the point.
Yeah.
The point is that it came.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
But still, there it was, you know, an invitation to another stream of
Opportunity.
income.
Exactly. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And
But-
see, yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, the point is that maybe I would have debated this with my monkey, but I didn't. I right away realized something else will come. you
Yeah.
know?
yeah. See, it's coming. It's coming. I just love this is coming that so God has already given me a way to think about what I want. Because I'm thinking more about what I want, God gives me more of it. And so I've been thinking about I want another stream of income. And so God helped remind me by getting that email. And so that email isn't necessarily it, but and this is so important to understand that this is a beautiful world that has everything that you want in it. Be another stream of income, passive income, more business, better health, that happiness, more love, any and everything. This world, God has this world within it for you. And all you need to do is ask for it. What we have been asking for most of the time is a bunch of stuff we don't want. Gee, I hope there isn't traffic. You're talking traffic. You're going to get more traffic. Okay. Gee, I hope my back doesn't hurt today. You're asking for your back to hurt. You have to. Okay. But hey, I love that everything's getting better for me. Okay. I love that I'm feeling better. Whether you are or not, doesn't matter. See, God doesn't care if you're thinking about what happened before, okay, in the past. God doesn't matter if you're thinking about right now. God doesn't matter if you're thinking about the future. Whatever you're thinking about, you're going to get more of it. Well, my gosh, I'm not going to buy in with this dumb committee having me buy into, this world and what they're saying, and this is what's happening or anything. I'm giving up the world. I'm giving up honoring the God of other people's opinion. Okay. I'm giving up the need for anything. Okay. Other than, again, I want to feel good with God, and I don't need the world. And when you release the world, when you release the money, when you release what you want and give it up to God to bring it to you. And all we need to do is be thinking about what we desire. And so when you think 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% of those thoughts, most people are thinking about what they don't want. That's a lot of thoughts, 60, 80%, 48,000 thoughts a day. Most people are thinking. You're not anymore. Even if you're only thinking 4,799, things are getting better. Things are getting better for all of us. When you realize that you have the power, when you walk with God and you invite God, and again, the areas of God, and when you invite God in, that the magic starts happening. Who has another miracle to share with us?
Me.
Oh, the one that doesn't speak.
Yeah. No, before I meet you, I was speechless. I just one day look at the sky. It was a little bit raining, cloudy. I cannot even ask God for anything because I was telling my sister that it's unfair because whatever I ask God, He never give it to me. It's only the bad things happening.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell my sister or my mom what's inside me because they're far away. They will feel like I'm gonna make them like worry more about me. So I wished if I have a family here or at least somebody to hear me. And right now I have somebody understand me better than myself, you, and I have whole family here.
Yeah.
And I felt like we all related to each other.
Yeah.
And right now I want not to finish working together or meet the weekly, finish the weekly meeting.
Yeah.
I don't like November because it's gonna be end by November, which will be
Yeah, so that's a thought that you don't want, Dua. And so that it is, I just love this moment. Okay. See, your committee's taking it to, oh, this is going to end. There's no end. Like, I think I've promised all of you that, now that we're together, that I'm with you for eternity, and eternity is a long time. And so you can call on me, whether I'm here in this physical place or not. You can call on me forevermore now. Okay. So this never ends. And our family, you're exactly right. We love this family. And see, the committee likes to go to, oh, it's going to end or whatever, that, hey, what about this family? It's going to get better, and so I ask, see, it's all in this asking, because your asking was, oh, it's going to end, and that's going to be it with my spiritual family here and everything. That I'm not going to ask that. It's like, hey, how's this going to get even better? I just love that. And you will see God has an answer. Remember, there's everything in this world. Every request that you have, God has the answer. It's in this world for you. And so you simply change this to, I just love this moment. I love this family, spiritual family. And this is going to take me to even greater places. And it is. And that December, you will see that it's like, oh my God, this is even better. And what that is, oh, I don't know, but I know it is. It's great. Another miracle before we get off here. Anybody?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, Joy.
So one quick one, Ross. I really liked what you shared. Congratulations, Deborah. I'm just so excited for you. How incredible. But one thing is, like, I had a breakup a couple weeks ago and stuff, a few year relationship and stuff, and we're working with Dr. Hank, and part of the thing is the person did a lot of my promoting of what the works I do and everything else. So I kind of, cut that with the whole thing. And I've just been asking, actually, I asked one day, a few days ago, I've been trying to scramble around. Everything came together within a few days even. I had calls set up with people that could help do what I needed before I even knew I was going to need them for that. So it was just cool. But the other day I just said, man, I just love for you to bring people into my life who support my message, my meeting, and all that are excited to help grow that. And I had somebody reach out to me that day out of the blue. I've known the person for a while, but they said, listen, I want to schedule a time for us to do some videos. And I go, okay, well, what's going on? She goes, I don't know. I just feel so strongly in my heart that this is the time for me to help you spread your message and bring that on social media and bring it to all the avenues I have available and everything else. And I was just blown away. I was like, that's exactly that I asked. But what really happened as far as the channeling goes is I told you guys a couple of weeks ago about the whole thing, like since I got sober almost 16 years ago, is that, my big prayer was, I hope you're proud of the man I'm trying to be. And a few, the week before I shared that is where God said that, I'm proud of the man that you are. And he emphasized that R, and it's been growing ever since. And one of the things, I believe in the trilogy, I'm Christian and believe in Jesus Christ, but I've always thought I'm going to God with my stuff. Like I'm going right to the top, and last week I got a massage and I totally, I just want to kind of process. I don't know what's going on, but I know something's going to happen here. And for 40 minutes I spent in my orchard, which is my money tree and my love tree, and I have this whole orchard of all these things I love in my life. And I spent 40 minutes with Jesus Christ, and it wasn't a Jesus Christ like what I've always thought of Jesus Christ. And it was like a brother and a friend and like this deep love. And I could ask anything. I could just speak my heart and ask.
Yeah.
And it was accepted, but also like I felt like even cherished that I asked it, things I'd never asked before in my life, because I was always thought it was not the right thing and stuff like that. And it was just a conversation, and it was so strong and so together like that and stuff. And I left that massage and it's continued on. And like I can be driving and almost like I'm understanding when we talk about different dimensions. it's almost like I can be right here with you guys, but I can be there at the exact same time having a conversation with him. And it's just so incredible that it calms me still.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. Yeah. And that is just so beautiful, Joey. And we just love that. And, how many people want to be with Christ, be with God, be with Ali, how many people in the world wish they had that, and you now have that. I mean, you're the most blessed to have that and to be able to have that relationship. And that's a relationship that we all are having now with God, with our inner being, with anyone that you want. Remember all those that walked before us. And so, whether it's Christ, whoever, your grandparents, that we are all here to love you, to guide you, and support you. And this has just been so, so glorious with each one of you and your miracles. And you bring us joy. You brought us to tears of joy. And we thank you for that. That is just so, so beautiful. Woo, nice. Yeah. So with that, thank you all for sharing that. Think about this asking. Think about being in the green zone. It's so glorious. And know that you're going to now each be able to go into your own garden and be with your angels. Next week that we will talk about your archangels, your 7 archangels. And you'll develop a relationship where you can talk with them too, and they can lead you and guide you into literally everything that you want. So with that, we're going to do our little sing-along now, okay, at our end here. And we've invited divine intelligence in. We divided divine intelligence in.
We've invited divine intelligence in.
And now it's time for our dreams to begin.
Now it's time
Now
for
it's
our
time for our
dreams
dreams
to
to
begin.
begin.
We invoked our archangels in
We can
We
invite
invoke
our
our
archangels
archangels in.
for the answers and solutions to begin.
or the
For
answers
the
or
answers and
solutions.
To begin.
We love all that is,
We
We
love
love all that is.
Is
for it guides us to more biz.
For
it guides us to
more
more
biz.
biz.
We are now walking with God.
We are
are
now
now
walking
walking
with
Walking
God.
with God.
We have been given the divine nod.
We have
We have
been
been
given
given
the
the
divine
divine
nod.
The die has now been cast.
The die has
has
now
now
been
been
cast.
Cast.
For all of us to have a blast.
For
all
All
of
of
us
us to
have
have a blast.
Sound off, walk with God.
Sound off, walk with
Walk with
God.
God.
Sound off, walk with God.
Sound
Sound
off,
off, walk with God.
Sound off, walk with God.
Sound
Sound
off,
off, walk with God.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love you all. If you need me at all, if you need all that is, just call upon us. We're here. Looking forward to your asking. And you guys are magnificent. And I thank you and love you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Love y'all. Be blessed.
Thank you,
Thanks, Dr.
Dr.
Hank.
Hank.
Bye. Love you guys. Bye.